Hi, everybody. This is Shamini Jain with the Consciousness and Healing Initiative, and I'm sitting with my dear friend and colleague, Dr. Joe Tafur, who is a medical doctor, family physician, practicing physician, and a healer, a plant medicine healer, who has been doing some considerable work in ayahuasca. And we have the great pleasure of having Joe speak at UCSD soon. And while I have him here, thought we could have some good conversations to demystify a little bit of the ayahuasca experience, what it is, and particularly for this video, we're going to explore the nature of icaros as part of the ayahuasca tradition. So, Joe, thanks for doing this with me.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Shamini.
Thank you. So we spoke a little bit earlier on the nature of the ayahuasca ritual, but I would love for you to explain it from your perspective, because I know there are many different cultures that use this plant medicine. And so maybe you can tell us a bit about the Shipibo tradition where you have trained.
Sure. So the Shipibo tradition is, so they are people from Upper Peruvian, Amazon in Peru. Sometimes referred to Shipibo Conibo. It's this kind of cultural group that is an interesting group because they have a really strong shamanic practice in their tradition, and there's a lot of shamanic practitioners still, being trained and coming out of the culture. And they also, which is different from a lot of the other cultures, at least in Peru and the regions that I've been, and in the jungle, that they maintain their language, so the indigenous Native American language is still being spoken, as it is in the Sacred Valley. The Quechua that they speak up there, is the Incan language. So it is kind of a deeper window into, a pre-Columbian time, when the language is there and the culture is there. And so these are people that have a traditional Amazonian plant medicine practice that is very much geared about connecting to plant spirits. And that it is through communing with plant spirits in their tradition, by these extended diets, these restricted periods of time in which the person is avoiding certain foods and eating a very simple, very bland diet, avoiding sex, avoiding any alcohol, drugs, spending a lot of time in seclusion, avoiding a lot of social interaction, and then during that time they take certain plants that are not necessarily psychoactive at all, but they're considered master plants. So these are plants that are considered to be teachers, that if you take them for extended periods of time in this way, they begin to excuse me, they begin to appear as a presence in your consciousness.
Oh.
And so that you would have, that presence would perhaps bring thoughts to your mind or enter your dreams and give you some kind of information or guidance in your dreams.
What kinds of plants? I mean, there must be traditional plants that...
They're Amazonian plants, master plants that you've heard of. Well, marijuana is it's not a commonly used plant there for this purpose, but it is considered a master plant, a spiritual teacher. Coca is a master plant.
Okay.
Other plants, ayahuasca is a master plant. Chacruna is a master plant. Other plants you may not have heard of. There's a whole bunch of them, like Piñón Blanco and Nahosacha and Marosa and Bombinsana and Tamamuri, all kinds of trees and plants that are all believed to have this capacity. And so some people in the north are practicing this Shipibo kind of dieting with other plants like white sage or sequoia or rose.
So this is very tied to the Shipibo tradition, that you do this fasting, you do this cleansing, you limit yourself from outside interaction to go within and connect more with your soul, your spirit, and then you also learn from plant spirits in this way by ingesting them for a certain amount of time.
Right. And so then, in other traditions, not just the Shipibos, many Amazonian tribes do this form of dieting to connect with the plants, and even in Brazil, and I don't know if I mentioned Brazil, but Brazil is a major, it's kind of like central to the ayahuasca phenomenon. And so through these extended diets, you are connecting yourself with the medicine of these plants. And so then now, when you drink ayahuasca, then the medicine of that plant, the idea is that would be present for you and would help guide.
I see. So this is all sort of preparatory work that is done before you do the ayahuasca. I see.
So then this is outside of ayahuasca ceremony.
Right. Okay.
And so then you're dieting, the long-term dieters, for instance, at New Erao, where I used to work, people that are doing a year diet in this restrictive lifestyle to train to become an ayahuasca shaman are drinking ayahuasca maybe once a month or twice a month.
Mm-hmm.
So in other words, most of their time is spent not doing that.
Right.
And then they drink ayahuasca to see where they're at and see if it opens up their experience with the plants.
Mm-hmm.
And so then through that process, in this tradition, the plants start teaching you how to sing icaros.
So you learn the icaros from the plant spirits,
Correct.
which you're connecting with through the dieting.
Correct.
This is fascinating.
That is the tradition.
And can you help us explain a little bit, help explain to us a little bit more about the nature of the icaros and how they play a role in the healing process?
So then the icaro is...
The icaros means song?
Song. Icaro is I don't know the origin of that particular word because there's different... In Shipibo, they have a different word, that I don't pronounce correctly. It's something like behua. Means song, like your song.
Okay.
And so icaro has been, I don't know where the origin of that word comes, but it's used more widely in the Amazon to describe the songs that are sung in Amazonian, ayahuasca ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
So then we also use that term to describe icaros, the songs that are sung in the Shipibo ceremony. And so the song then has words, so the words are about what you're doing. Okay. And so then the energy of the song as it comes out in the vibration of the voice and the way it comes across to the other individuals is carrying the medicine. And so then you guide, and the melody as well. And so then you guide that energy with the words of your song. So for example, at the beginning of the ceremony, you might be singing to open, literally open the ceremony and open the world of the plants and open the connection and open the medicine and open people's experience and open their worlds of ayahuasca and their connection and their visions.
So the song is like
singing,
a gateway.
The song is a gateway.
Yeah. So it's opening up a field.
It's opening up a field.
Huh.
So then that is how you, so there's this kind of an incantation and an invocation, to open the field and then protect the space, protect the individuals, protect yourself. That's all done through song. And the song in the visionary state, it's like you're following your visions. So then now you're going to sing to address the field in which you're going to work. In other words, let's say you see this energy over here or this spirit over there or something that's going to disrupt what you're doing. So you want to clean and clear the space before you start doing the individual work.
And so the icaros are a way to also clear the space.
Yes, the icaros are a form of energetic healing and energetic medicine and, clearing a space, like singing about non-local phenomenon and so that's a big part of it. I'd say at the beginning of the ceremony, that's what we're doing, and then preparing ourselves and maybe working through some issues of ourselves, maybe looking at your own body and seeing something that you want to try to work on, and then using the song as an expression of your imagination to change that thing and to help undo and unrelease and move and clean.
So icaros are things that shamans will use on themselves to clear their bodies.
Sure. Yes. Yeah. And then, but there's kind of a point at which maybe you need someone else to do it just because it's hard to access yourself in that same way, but still you try, so you try to do that and you use the song to help move that energy. And then at some point in the ceremony and the way we practice, then you're going to start calling people up one-on-one to work on them through song. And so then, we've already discussed like what they want to work on tonight. So I have an idea, but also maybe we'll touch base with them. How are you doing? What's going on? Oh, I'm seeing this, okay. So then you're going to now work with them with what they've told you before, with what they're guiding you about now, with what your intuition is telling you, and what is revealed through the visions.
So it's a very dynamic process. I mean, you have some idea of what's going on with them and what their intentions are for the healing when they come in. They are also going to be, now we're talking about the person who's involved in the ayahuasca ceremony, correct? So they come in, they might do some dieting. They may also learn from other plant medicines. You've mentioned that to me before. And then the shaman, after their assessment, basically decides on the type of dose that is needed for this person.
Correct.
So in the traditional Shipibo tradition anyway.
Yeah.
So now they've taken the ayahuasca medicine. they're there with you, and or the shaman, and you as the shaman will, in that moment of time and space, basically decide on the icaros that you're going to invoke.
This
sing.
improvised. They're improvised.
Yeah. So
it's not. It's an improvised process.
Yeah. So you see them, and then you just channel the plant medicine,
right.
basically.
I mean, you may have like some prepared melody or some prepared, just some prepared phrases, that you're going to start with and begin with, but you're going to allow yourself to go out beyond that, to address what goes on, and in terms of the kind of tones you're going to make or intonations, the words you're going to use, the melody may shift, all in response to the change that you're trying to evoke and see, Wow. So I describe that process a lot in the book, with a few of the different individuals describing my own process of learning, going through those diets, and very skeptically, like not thinking this, so strange, how could this happen?
Yeah.
And then having it happen to me, and then starting to sing to people in that way, and getting more and more visions around when I'm singing to people, and then seeing the shifts in them happen.
Amazing.
In response to the song.
Amazing. So the book that Joe is talking about is his new book called The Fellowship of the River. Highly recommended. Joe is obviously an up-and-coming leader in the space of ayahuasca medicine and plant medicine. So you can pick this up on Amazon, yeah?
That's right.
On Amazon. So it's called The Fellowship of the River, and it chronicles Joe's journey as a medical professional, doctor, ayahuasca healer, all the things that he's learned. So super grateful that you've shared that with us.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And thanks for enlightening us on the nature of icaros as part of the ayahuasca ritual. It's it's really fascinating, and I don't think very well known. The nature of the role of singing sound and the connection with plant spirit in that way for the healing process. So,
and I would say, because once again, they're going to try to reduce it out of that and just get the freeze-dried ayahuasca pills and take that and show the benefit of that, which they're doing.
Yeah,
there's research, and that's fine. I have no problem with that. I'm just saying that if you were to open your study paradigm, you may also witness some broader healing that goes on. And there is research being done right now, Temple of the Way of Light and the Ayahuasca Foundation, where they are studying the ceremonial use and seeing some really impressive results.
That's exciting. I mean, very deep interest for us in the Consciousness and Healing Initiative to look at the entire picture, within the cultural context, and understand deeply the nature of the healing that takes place there.
Right.
With the plant and and all of the things that lead up to the healing that may have, be accentuating the plant medicine. You could say that at the very least.
Right.
So thank you so much, Joe.
You're welcome, Shamini. Thank you.
Sure.